Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. I feel like this is quite a specific video, so I feel like a lot of new people are going to be clicking on this video because this is going to be all about everything you need to know before getting a Chihuahua. Chico! Oh my god, he has just weed all over my rug. Chico, was there any need? Was there any need? Oh. Right, I'm gonna have to go and clear that up. 1 second, please. Chico, what was that about? Why did you do that? You've just embarrassed yourself there. Lifesaver. Right, hello everyone. I am going to be talking all about getting a Chihuahua in today's video. If you are new to my channel, you might not know. I mean, I've spoken about it everywhere. I got my little Chihuahua. When did I get you? Quite a few months ago now. He is now nearly 6 months old. 6 months old next week. Oh my god, he is crazy. He's crazy at the moment. He's going through his adolescent stage. But yeah, his name is Chico. I have had him for a couple of months now. He is a lilac and tan Chihuahua, although if you look on the Kennel Club website, they technically call his colour blue. So he is technically a blue and tan, but I think in like the Chihuahua community, most people say lilac, so I just say he's lilac and tan. He is extremely tiny, so he only weighs about 1.2 kilograms at the moment. When I got him, he only weighed 800 grams, so he has put on a bit of weight, but not much. Oh! Big yawn. Love you. I was just going to make like a general getting a puppy tips video, but then I thought I'd do it specifically for Chihuahuas because I think my tips are going to vary so much from someone who owns like a Labrador or a German Shepherd. Like, it's going to be completely different. So I thought I would just kind of make it a bit more niche and focus on Chihuahuas specifically, but obviously there are going to be tips for just general puppies in here as well, so feel free to carry on watching if you don't have a Chihuahua. He is the best thing that has happened to me. He is basically my child. He honestly means the world to me. Like, I can't imagine my life without him now. He just brings so much happiness, and that's just one thing I will already say. If you're even thinking about getting a dog, they just bring so much happiness into your life, and they just give you such a purpose. I feel like he just gives me so much love, and he relies on me so much, and I just love him more than anything. I'm gonna put him down so he can play, but please don't wee anywhere else. I don't know why you did that. Crazy. Hopefully this will help anyone that's thinking about getting a Chihuahua. I feel like they are a very specific breed with different needs to certain dogs, so hopefully this will help. I watched so many of these videos before I got mine. Fun fact, I actually never planned on getting a Chihuahua. I always planned on getting a Pomeranian, but I just happened to find Chico, and when I saw him I was like, that is my dog, and I just felt like I connected with him through a picture. Like, I just saw him and I was like, he is going to be my dog, and I just kind of fell into Chihuahuas. I've always loved them. I've always thought they were really cute, and obviously they're very similar size to Pomeranians, a little bit smaller. So yeah, I kind of just fell into the breed really by accident, but I'm glad I did because I am obsessed with them now. Okay, right, I'm gonna get straight into my tips because I have quite a few to talk about. So first things first, they are so small. Okay, I don't think you understand. Like, you can look at a picture, you can look at a video, but if you've never seen a Chihuahua puppy, you're not going to be prepared for what you see. Like, when I went to pick Chico up, I walked in to the house and I thought his mum was a puppy, and then I saw him, and I'm not joking, I've never been so shocked in my life at the size of something. He was like this big. Like, I didn't know what to do with him. I was like, how do I care for this tiny little living thing? Like, I was like, it was kind of scary. It's a bit intimidating because they're so small, they're so easy to step on, they're so easy to lose. Like, it's just, you have to be really prepared. Like, you have to make sure, for example, if you have a garden, you have to make sure there are no gaps in the fence because they will get through it. But yeah, I'll insert some pictures of him when he was still with his breeder so you can kind of get a gist of how small he was, but I don't think you can quite understand because when I went, I was just, oh my god, I can't even explain to you how mind blown I was. I was baffled. He was really small, and the reason he was actually so small, his siblings were a little bit bigger than him, not much but a little bit, and he just happened to be the smallest in his litter, which is why he was so tiny. But yeah, it was a bit of a shock. I was like, I don't know what to do with you, like, you're so small. It was scary. He was the size of my Sky remote, like my remote control, and it was a lot. So yeah, that's the first thing I will say. Do not underestimate how small they will be, because they are tiny. Obviously it depends, like some people breed teacup chihuahuas, which are very, very small. I would always be wary of someone advertising a teacup chihuahua, just because they're not actually really a thing. It's just something that they call really, really, really small dogs. Chico was not advertised as a teacup chihuahua. He was just advertised as a chihuahua. It just happened that he was so small. But yeah, obviously it varies. I think the typical guidelines is that most chihuahuas are under 3 kilograms, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, like I said, he only weighs 1.2 at the moment, and I'm pretty sure he's going to reach his full size in the next few weeks, because he's a small breed and they typically reach their full size when they're 6 months old. But it varies. Like, he can still grow. Maybe he'll have a growth spurt, who knows. He definitely has grown, but he hasn't grown as much as I thought he would. Chico, what are you eating? Drop it. Stop. That is another thing to be wary of with their size. They can easily choke on things, so you have to make sure everything is extremely small for them. Treats, I have to like cut in half. Things like dentist sticks, you have to watch them when it gets to that last little bit. He has gagged and coughed so many times, and it's like my biggest fear, and he's always managed to clear it. But just like familiarize yourself with the Heimlich maneuver for dogs, especially if you have such a small breed. Because it is scary, because obviously you can't always tell, but it's just, yeah, when he's been coughing like right at the beginning, I panicked so much. But yeah, definitely be aware of their size and the different needs that come with that. It's little things really, like their toys are going to be tiny. You need to make sure you don't step on them. Sometimes I think a lot of people get them like a bell so you can hear them. I don't personally have that, but you do get used to their size. Like at first it's a bit of a shock, and then you just get used to it and it's fine. But yeah, it's just making sure that their food is softened. So I soak his kibble in water. That way it's soft for them to eat and he's not gonna swallow it and then choke. I think most Chihuahua owners do that. And actually I think it's nicer for them than just like eating dry kibble. So yeah, things like that I would say with his size. Just be wary of how small they actually are. Okay, so the next point kind of leads on from his, oh, you're going in your crate. Do you like it in there? It's like your little bedroom, isn't it? You can come sit on my lap. No, you're happy in there? That's fine. The next thing that I wish I knew before getting a Chihuahua was the anxiety of walking him. I am constantly on my guard when we're out on walks, because if a big dog runs up to him or approaches him, I just have to be really cautious, because the last thing you want is for them to be attacked. Firstly, because they're so small that, you know, their chances are obviously less than a bigger dog. But secondly, because when something like that happens, it can really change their personality. A lot of people say that Chihuahuas are aggressive and yappy and they bite, and I have met a few Chihuahuas in my area, and all of them that have been somewhat aggressive or barky have been attacked, and the owners have said that that has happened after they've been attacked. Because obviously it like puts them on their guard and they feel like they have to protect themselves, so then they become very like angry, and it's just like it's like a mechanism for them to, I guess, cope with what happened, and they don't forget about it. Like it scares them. So that's why I'm constantly on my guard, because I just want him to always have like a positive experience, and he always has, actually, apart from one time. So this only happened last week actually, but there was a fairly big dog, I think it was a poodle mix, I'm not sure what it was mixed with, and it wasn't aggressive at all. It just wanted to play with Chico, but Chico was this big and the poodle was like this big, and the poodle like ran up to him and it wanted to play with him, but it got too excited and it ended up like running Chico over, and then Chico fell, started crying. It was a whole drama, but it was fine. It actually, I really don't blame the dogs for that, to be honest, because they've probably never seen such a small dog, so for them it's like difficult to know how to cope with them or how to play with them. Like, they don't know how to play with these little dogs. So yeah, you just have to be wary of things like that. I'll normally put him on a lead when we're walking past dogs, just so I can quickly pull him up if I have to. But what I will say is it's better to avoid picking them up. Like, don't just pick them up whenever you see a dog coming over, because that will just teach them to be scared. But also the other dog is more likely to react when you pick them up because it makes them excited. So I would say just keep them on a lead, keep them close to you, and just try not to stress about it. I've definitely worked on it. Like, I've learned how to kind of deal with it better and not be so nervous, and now I let him off lead around dogs as well, and he's fine. But it is definitely just like a learning thing, because it is obviously really, really scary at first. They're so little that you feel like they can't handle anything, but they can. Like, they can play with other dogs. Like, they're not these fragile little things. Like, they can still play. And I think it's good to let them socialize as well, because if you just like pick them up every single time, they're not going to socialize and they're not going to enjoy their walks. Because I find that Chico enjoys his walk so much more when he meets other dogs and plays with them. Like, he gets so excited, he starts running around. It's so cute. Granted, it's mostly with other Chihuahuas or small dogs, but he'll still go up to big dogs. He'll let them sniff him. Like, he's not scared of big dogs, which I think is really important, because that's where like the barking comes from, because little dogs will see like a big dog and bark at them as like a defense mechanism. Also, on walks you will be stopped regularly. Be prepared to have to talk to every single person you pass. I guess it's different if you live in an area where there's lots of little dogs, but in my area we live opposite like a country park, and there's a lot of big dogs in the area and a lot of like cocker spaniels, things like that. There's not many Chihuahuas. I've only seen like 3. I get stopped all the time when I'm walking him, because people just can't believe how small he is. And obviously he is still a puppy, but yeah, I feel like it's going to continue even when he's an adult, because he's not really getting much bigger. Maybe he will, who knows. Right, next thing is about toilet training. So I think toilet training differs so much when you have a small breed, especially a Chihuahua, because they're so small that obviously they can't hold as much liquid. Like, their bladders aren't as big. So I think toilet training with Chihuahuas takes longer. I have had 2 puppies in the past when I lived back home. We had 2 puppies and their toilet training was quite quick, but they're bigger than Chico. Chico's toilet training is good and bad. One minute he has no accidents, the next, like today, he decides to just wee on the carpet, and it's just up and down. But honestly, accidents really aren't that bad. Right, I'm gonna have to shut that because my fridge has just started making loads of noise. Wonderful. I feel like a lot of people are put off of getting dogs in general because of the accidents, but accidents are bound to happen, and honestly they're not that big of a deal. Like, literally just get yourself some stain remover, you're good to go. It comes out straight away. Like, it's not a big deal. What I will say actually is make sure you get a stain remover that has odor remover as well, because with male dogs especially, they'll smell where they've weed and they'll do it in the same place continuously, so you have to make sure you remove the odor. But his house training, to be honest, right from the beginning, he was really, really good. He always knows to go outside. He doesn't like going outside. Like, he doesn't like going in the garden. I think because he's so small, he feels the cold, and it's obviously winter in England at the moment, so he really feels the cold. So when he goes outside, he knows to go to the toilet and then come straight back in. Like, that's what he does. So he does know to go outside, but I think at the moment it's like snowing here, which is why he's been having accidents in the house, because he doesn't want to go out there to the toilet, which I can't blame him for because he's so little. He like sinks into the snow, but it is a bit frustrating. So yeah, with Chihuahuas, be prepared for accidents. You have to let them out. Genuinely, in the beginning, I would let him out every half an hour, which might seem extreme, but it's the only way you're going to toilet train. And you have to stand out there with them, praise them. Just make sure they associate going outside with going to the toilet. And whenever he goes in the house, I won't like tell him off. Like, I won't be like, don't do that. Like, I never ever would shout at him. I would just ignore him, because then they learn that if they're outside, they get praised. If they're inside, they don't get praised. And then it just kind of clicks with them. But for that reason, I would say that if you are not at home, like if you have a full-time office job where you're in the office 5 days a week, it is not probably the best idea to get a Chihuahua, because they need to go out every like half an hour to an hour. It's just, it just is like, that's just what has to happen. I mean, if you still want a Chihuahua, you could obviously get an older Chihuahua in that case, because he now, I mean, he's 6 months and he can hold his bladder all night. Like, he doesn't have any accidents in the night. He knows not to have accidents in his crate, because that's like his bedroom, and that is why I'd really recommend crate training, actually, because they associate it as like their own space, and they almost like respect it. Like, they wouldn't have accidents in there because they like respect their own space. And yeah, I let him sleep in the bed for me sometimes. He literally doesn't need the toilet at all throughout the night, but I do remove his water at like 7 p.m, 8 p.m, just because that obviously encourages him to not have accidents, and also I don't feed him after 5 p.m. But he's actually really weird. He doesn't drink water. Like, he only drinks the water I mix with his food. He doesn't go and drink water. It's very bizarre. I'm guessing he gets it all from his food. Also, if you can hear this, he's like scratching me. But yeah, be prepared for toilet training to take a fair bit of time with them. Also, he did not use puppy pads. They were a waste of money. I actually wouldn't recommend getting puppy pads. I don't see the point. It's better to just make them associate going outside with the toilet straight away rather than puppy pads. So yeah, and his toilet training, like I said, is doing really well. It's just he decided to have an accident today, which is great. Okay, so the next thing that I wish I knew was that they are not as yappy as people make them out to be. I feel like whenever you talk to someone about a Chihuahua, they instantly think, oh, yappy, loud dogs, little dogs, like small dog syndrome. I don't know if like this is normal, but Chico is the calmest, quietest dog. He doesn't bark. Like, he doesn't bark. He might let out a little bark when we're playing and he's excited, but he's not a yappy dog. But I do think a lot of that comes from his breeder, because when I went to the house, it was silent. Like, his mum didn't bark, the siblings didn't bark. And I think that if you go and see the puppy and you walk in and it's like barking everywhere, obviously your puppy's probably going to bark, because it will have like learned that behavior from its parents. I think the reason Chico is so quiet and calm is because he did not have yappy parents, so it does make a big difference. And I would, oh my god, he's going crazy. So yeah, if you really don't want a yappy dog, definitely just go and see the house and the parents, and just you'll be able to tell if you're gonna have a yappy dog or not. But they are not as yappy as everyone makes them out to be. Like, I've seen Chihuahuas out and there's only one that barks out of all of the ones I've seen. Okay, so next point, they get cold so easily. I think that this is probably a given. A lot of people probably know this, but because they are so small, obviously they feel the cold really, really easily. He's going for a wee again. What is happening? Guys, this is not normal behavior for him. I'm a little bit confused. I think at the moment the reason he's having accidents as well is because he's going through that stage of maturing. He's humping everything, and obviously with that comes like weeing to like mark their scent. If you're gonna get them any toy, get them little tennis balls, because he loves them. Like, I throw them and he brings them back and he's really good with it. Anyway, what was I saying before I was rudely interrupted? Oh yeah, they get cold easily. So I know a lot of people think, oh, why do people dress their Chihuahuas in clothes? But honestly, I have jumpers for him just because he gets cold. If you're taking them out on walks, you're gonna wanna get them coats, jumpers, harnesses that like cover them. It obviously depends where you live. I feel like Chihuahuas probably prefer being abroad, but yeah, they get cold very easily, hence why you see them shaking a lot. And they do also just have really quick metabolisms, which is also why you see them shaking. They're not always cold. He's actually okay. Like, when he's walking, he's not cold, but when we stop, he does kind of start shaking a bit, so we have to kind of keep moving with him. But he is really good, and he'll let me put on jumpers and stuff. He doesn't necessarily love them, but he'll let me put them on him. Although I will say I have struggled to find clothes that fit him, because he is so little that extra small doesn't even fit him. It's bizarre. But yeah, so for the past 2 days whilst it's been snowing, I haven't taken him out for a walk, just because you do have to be careful with them. Like, you have to be careful. It's like you have to be careful with really fluffy dogs when it's warm outside. You just have to just use your brain a bit. It's not difficult. Like, if it's snowing and they're gonna like sink into the snow, obviously like it's probably best not to walk them. I normally take him for a walk every day, But yeah, I've left it for the past 2 days just because the snow is too deep for him, that it'll probably be up to like half of him, to be honest. Giving them that exercise, it tires them out, and it just gives them, you know, it gives them like a chance to use their brain and walk and get some fresh air, and it's just good for them. So I will always try and walk him once a day, whether it's 15 minutes, whether it's half an hour, just make sure you're walking them. They do still need to be walked, which I think a lot of people maybe don't think about. But what I will say is he does not like walking. Okay, I don't know if other Chihuahuas are like this, but he is not a fan of walking at all. Whenever I get his harness and I say, let's go for a walk, he hides. Like, he runs and hides under things. But once we're out, he's fine, and he'll enjoy it when he sees like other dogs. But I think it's just because it's like so cold here at the moment that he's like, no, I don't want to go out. And he loves coming back home. But just make sure you give them a treat when you get home, and then they're like associate it with a good thing. And also they have so much energy. Like, I don't think anyone understands how much energy Chihuahuas have. So if you can like take them for a walk, it will just tire them out, and it will make your life so much easier as well. And it's good for you. It's so good. I feel so much better going out for a walk every day. Like, it just makes me feel healthier, and it's so nice. Like, I get to socialize and talk to other dog owners. Like, when you have a dog, you make friends. Like, people talk to you. It's so bizarre. Like, if I just went for a walk by myself, no one would talk to me. But when I have Chico, he's like a magnet for new friends. I love it. So yeah, that's one thing I would bear in mind with walks. Okay, next thing. So I put this down just because this was something I had no idea about, but they love to burrow under things. So whenever Chico wants to go to sleep, he will burrow under a blanket, he'll burrow under my duvet, he'll even go inside my dressing gown. Like, he just wants to be in something. I think it's like a warmth thing, but it's also just like a natural instinct for them. So make sure you get loads of blankets for them to go in. So in his crate, he's got 2 blankets in there that he can like go under. Like, I came down this morning and he was just under there, couldn't find him. And make sure it's like nice thick warm blankets, because obviously at night time it does get colder, depending on where you live. If you live in Mexico, you're all good. Next thing, okay, so Chihuahuas are so clever. Okay, I don't care what anyone says. I feel like people, I have had so many comments where people have been like, oh my god, he's like a rat. You know, people are not very nice about Chihuahuas, but they are really clever. Chico already knows sit, paw, high five, stand. What else do you do? Spin. He spins around. I have managed to teach him these tricks within like a day. Like, it doesn't even take me long at all. And I would say it is worth putting in the time to teaching them tricks as well, because again, it's like mental stimulation for them. It's good for them. And I just love doing tricks with him. I find it really fun for him, and it's fun for me. And he like loves getting like treats. Like, he could, oh my god, I'll move on to this in a second, but his food is like his world to him. Like, he loves it. I actually have these really good little sweet potato treats which are really low in calories, and they're definitely worth getting because obviously Chihuahuas are so small that they can put on weight very easily. But yeah, teach them tricks. Like, they're so clever. Like I said, he loves to play fetch, he loves doing his tricks. Should we show them some, Chico? How am I going to show you them? Maybe I can put him on here. Chico, come here. Okay, right. He's on one at the moment. And yeah, I think people underestimate Chihuahuas, you know? They're very clever. Okay, so next thing, food. Okay, so like I just said, Chico is extremely food orientated. He could eat so much. Like, he would eat anything that you gave him. The only thing he doesn't like is rice, actually. He actually loves Baby Bells more than anything. Baby Bells, apples, cheese, banana. Oh my god, bananas. He goes crazy for. I have a banana with my smoothie every morning and have to give some to him. But yeah, for his like main food, he has Millie's Wolf Heart, which is just like a kibble. But for like lunchtime, I'll mix in some chicken. He is going to go down to 2 meals a day soon when he's 6 months, which I don't think he's going to like, but it will just make things easier for me, like if I'm out during the day. Hello, Bubba. Hello. You love your food, don't you? How much do you love your food? A lot. Yeah, you do. He loves his food so much, and he will eat anything. He's not a fussy eater at all. But with that, you have to be really, really careful. So obviously, because of their size, they can put on weight so easily. So I weigh out all of his food. So he has 35 grams of kibble a day, and then on top of that, he can have some treats, which includes things like chicken with his lunch, peanut butter. He loves dog peanut butter from Pets at Home, treats for training, banana, apple. Obviously that's all like healthy for him as well, so definitely try them on fruit because they absolutely love it, just not grapes or raisins or anything like that. But yeah, I make sure I weigh out his food and I never give him more. I think a lot of people eyeball it, which might be fine depending on if you have like a big dog, but if you have a Chihuahua, you do not want them to be overweight because they can put on weight really easily. And actually, I would say like a lot of Chihuahuas I've seen have been overweight. So definitely watch what you're giving them. You just invest in some scales. They're literally like £6 and it just makes things so much easier. You will save a lot of money on a Chihuahua though, let me tell you. I don't really have any cost for him. The only thing I have to pay for is his insurance, which is like £12 a month. His flea treatment, which is like £4 a month. But I can buy him a big like 5 kilogram bag of food and it will last months because he doesn't eat much at all. So yeah, it is important to weigh out their food. He will try and eat as much as I'll give him. Like if I gave him the whole bag, he'd eat the whole bag, do you know what I mean? But it's not good for them. And yeah, I would say that if you are getting a Chihuahua, definitely be aware that you will have to weigh their food out and just really watch them. I think the final thing that I would say about getting a Chihuahua is that they are so easy. If you are looking for a puppy but you don't have time to, I don't know, you don't have time to look after a really big one. Obviously big dogs take a lot more training, I think. Chihuahuas are great if you live in an apartment. Just make sure you get like a little grass patch for them. I just think Chihuahuas are such good pets, and I think especially if you're young. I mean, I'm only 23, I'm gonna be 24 next month. Okay, I don't want to talk about it, but if you are like young, I think that they make really good pets because they're not loads and loads of responsibility, in the sense of they are very quick to learn things, and they're so small that they don't require a huge amount of exercise, and they're quite independent as well. Like he is fine if I leave him alone in the house, and he doesn't cry, he doesn't bark, he's absolutely fine. Crate training him was so easy. Like everything with him, like I couldn't have asked for an easier dog really, apart from I could have asked for one that didn't wee on my rug all the time. But anyway, he's been like the easiest dog ever, and he is just the best little companion. And if you are thinking about getting a Chihuahua, I would highly recommend it. I mean, I am a bit biased, but I think that they make such great pets, and they're small enough as well that you can take them to cities. If you live in a city, they're really good like city dogs. I think he would actually prefer living in a city because he would rather like be in warmer places and enclosed places rather than like out in big fields. But yeah, they make great pets and you can literally take them everywhere with you. Even like grooming them, I literally brush him like once a month. Like he does not need to be brushed because he's a smooth coat. He is so easy to look after, it's a joke, like actually a joke. Oh, that's one thing I would say though, I brush his teeth every day, and that is something I would recommend because Chihuahuas are known to have dental issues, so just make sure you like brush their teeth once a day. That's the only thing I would say. But yeah, I hope that that was helpful. I feel like I covered most things. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I'll try and reply to them all. The only thing I would say if you're thinking about getting one is just make sure you have enough time to dedicate to training them and loving them and being with them, because they are like companion dogs. They really like to be with you, and I'm really lucky in the sense that I get to work from home 3 days a week, so I'm only not with him for 2 days. And yeah, I have someone that watches him on those 2 days at the moment, and obviously when he's an adult it will be a lot easier, but when they are puppies it's good to just have someone with them, I think, just because, you know, when they're puppies they just need a bit more support in terms of being let out to the toilet and being on 3 meals a day, and it's just easier to kind of watch them. But yeah, I feel like that is everything I have to say. Like I said, make sure you do leave me any questions down in the comment section, and make sure you do subscribe to my channel if you are new, because I post a lot of content with Chico. I post a lot of vlogs and a lot of kind of like health videos as well, so make sure you do subscribe if you are new, and I will see you all in my next video. Do you want to say bye, Chico? Say bye bye. Say bye bye. Oh, thank you. Oh, this is another thing. He licks all the time. They lick all the time. Okay, if you don't like licking, they're not for you, because he licks me all the time. Okay, right, let's go. Bye. Say bye.